Welcome to Healing One Square at a Time, a healing bingo board journey with me, Ivy Watts. A journey where I am reclaiming my power, rediscovering self-love, and finally choosing me, using activities on a healing bingo board that I've created, ranging from buying myself flowers every month, journaling every day, to attending comedy shows and concerts solo. Through personal stories, reflections, and practical insights, I'll help you to stop seeking validation from others and start giving yourself the love and care you truly deserve. Together, we'll explore ways to validate ourselves, heal emotional wounds, and embrace the joy of dating ourselves before looking for love from others. Subscribe for inspirational content, tips to create your own healing bingo board, and encouragement to take the first step toward a more empowered life where you love yourself completely and authentically. It's time to heal, one square at a time. I'm super excited today to talk about one of the first activities I accomplished on my healing bingo board, and that was going to a smash room. If you've never been to a smash room, I highly recommend it. This was such a healing and releasing activity for me. So when I first started this healing journey, I was angry. I was angry for several reasons. First of all, I knew I needed to heal, but I didn't want to do this journey. I was pretty used to the patterns that I had been in for many years. But as I mentioned in my last video, I really realized that I needed to do something for myself and recognize my own patterns that had kept me stuck in different relationships and situations that weren't good for me. So even though I knew that this healing journey was so important for me to embark on, I did not want to do it. I was also really angry about all of the things that had happened to me, all of the loss that I've experienced in my life through losing my mom and having a lot of frustration towards her for her leaving me. I had a lot of anger towards her when I know it's out of her control that she passed away. I had a lot of anger around becoming a single mom and going through a divorce and all of those situations that happened to me after losing my mom, which felt like the hardest thing I had to go through. And then I had all of these additional losses on top of that. And so I was just full of so much anger and hurt. So it was so perfect that my first activity was going to a smash room. So I went to the smash room by myself. Again, this is the whole goal of this healing bingo board journey, is to go on activities by myself and to challenge myself to do things that I typically wouldn't. And so I found a smash room, I walked into the space, and they brought me into a room. I paid for like 30 glass bottles, and I just had to chuck them up against the wall. And at first it was pretty pitiful. I would throw them and they like didn't break. I'm like, what's happening? But eventually I learned how to actually put some of that anger behind my throw and where to actually throw those wine bottles and glass bottles to be able to make them break. And once they finally started breaking, whew, the relief that I felt, and I'm telling you, I started crying in that room because it became an emotional release. I was releasing, as I was throwing, all of the abuse and trauma and hurt that I had been through over my life. I had released a lot of the anger that I had towards previous partners and the things that they had done to me. I had released a lot of anger towards myself and the fact that I stayed despite the abuse, despite the terrible things that they did to me. I released a lot of anger at my mom and tried really hard to begin to forgive her for leaving me. Again, even though I know that that's not what she would ever have wanted for me or for her. It was a beautiful experience, and it was really eye-opening as well. And I started to unpack a lot of emotions that I didn't even realize I was still so upset about. And it's interesting because a particular ex that caused a lot of trauma for me in my life, every time I threw a glass bottle, it did not break. And for me, it felt like, maybe I am still holding on to the emotional abuse that I experienced in that relationship. Because of that relationship and many other factors in my life, I felt silenced, especially in my relationships. I didn't want to share my emotions. I was afraid of letting other people down. I was afraid of people being angry with me. And I was afraid of getting emotionally abused again. And so it was interesting that every time I threw a glass bottle, thinking of that person, that it didn't break. And it helped me to see that I still had a lot of emotional baggage around that particular situation that happened to me. and that I needed to work through it. After I finished smashing 30 of those bottles, which again, I have tears streaming down my face, I'm feeling empowered and released, yet sad and still a little angry, but I'm really helping myself to release that, and it felt really powerful. And afterwards, I was like, that was so quick, like I'm done already, I want more. And so I paid an additional $20 to purchase a stereo. An old stereo. If you grew up in the 90s, you know what I'm talking about. It was super old, had a CD player, DVD player, whatever, you know, I think it's CD. And I took a bat to it. And when I tell you that was the best part of the entire experience, I beat the crap out of that stereo. It was so healing. Oh my goodness. I have no other word for it than healing. I think I smashed that thing to smithereens. It was actually pretty cool. I did a before and after photo of what it looked like in the smash room before. And you know, just it was clean floors and everything, to what it looked like after, and I completely destroyed the whole room. But to look at all the baggage that I walked into the room with, and then to see it basically in a metaphorical way, that it was all on the ground in front of me, of all of the glass bottles and the stereo that I smashed, to see all of that baggage smash and just really like put outside of me felt really great. And so smashing that stereo was like a really great release of that physical piece of just that movement, to really get that anger out of my body. And it felt like I had more control over it versus the throwing the glass bottles and then they didn't break. This felt like I had a lot of control, and I could have that repetitive movement. Sometimes you just want to get that anger out, right? And it's not socially acceptable, and you shouldn't be going around hitting people, right? But you can punch a pillow, right? But going to a smash room is a really great tool as well. And I just felt so powerful just being able to smash this stereo. And I think in the beginning, I was in a mindset of like, why me? Why am I going through all of these difficult times right now? Like, why did I deserve to lose my mom, who is my best friend? Why did I deserve to go through a divorce? Why did I deserve to experience abuse after abuse? Why do I have to be the one to break the cycle? My mom went through abuse. My grandparents went through abuse. Why do I have to be the one to break the cycle? Why couldn't it have stopped with them? I'm grateful that I'm breaking the cycle so that my daughter hopefully doesn't go through it, because she's not going to see it from her mother, at least, and her father together. But I don't want to be the one to have to be the one to break the cycle. It feels like this additional chore on top of everything else that I have to do. So I had this mentality of the why me, why the divorce, why becoming a single mom, why the loss, why the heartbreak. And I went in with a very like, why me, sad, angry, disappointed mindset. And as I was finishing breaking that stereo, I started saying, why not me? I was given these obstacles, these challenges, because I know that I can handle them. Even though they are really difficult, I have gotten through really difficult times before in the past. And so I know that I am capable of getting through these challenging times. And yeah, it might feel unfair at times, and we'll never really know why life keeps throwing different challenges our way. But it's so important to know that you can release that sadness and that frustration and that anger and not hold it all in, and that you are able to get through that challenging time. So going to the smash room as my first activity in my healing bingo board journey was definitely the best decision that I could have made, because it helped me to go from an angry and hurt mindset to an empowered mindset. And I felt ready after leaving there. And I left there that night and I said, maybe this is going to be a tough journey. It's going to be different than what I've ever done before, but I'm ready for it. And I know that I need this. And I think that was a really great foundation for me over time. Over the last couple of months, I've become excited about this healing journey. Don't get me wrong, I still have moments when I'm kind of annoyed that I have to do this, or I get to do this, I should say. But that was a really great foundation for me to say, you know, I'm excited about what I'm going to figure out about myself. And I've learned so many beautiful things about myself during this journey. But I think that was a really great foundation to say, okay, I'm starting to figure out that I have repressed memories that are causing some anxiety in my day-to-day that I didn't even realize. I thought that I was over my divorce and becoming a single mom, but clearly I'm not. Clearly I have a lot of anger and resentment and sadness there as well, and I need to give myself the space to process. So going to the Smash Room not only was rejuvenating and healing and releasing, but it also really helped me to start reflecting about the areas that I want to grow in. So immediately after leaving that Smash Room, not only did my shoulders hurt really bad, I was sore for like a week, but I wrote down immediately a list of like 20 different topics that came up for me while I was in the Smash Room that ranged all the way from that prior relationship back years ago, to my divorce, to losing my mom, to anger at myself and why I let my boundaries be pushed, issues in my childhood, all of these different topics that I wrote down that me and my therapist are now working through. So without that moment, I don't think I would have been able to really think about all the issues that were underlying all of the hurt, anger, and anxiety that I struggle with. And so it was a really beautiful start to this healing bingo board journey, and I really encourage you to check out a Smash Room if you've never done one before. If you're feeling angry, if you're pissed off, if you're hurt, whatever it might be, it's a great way just to physically let some of that out and really, really release that anger. And so it was a really great start to my healing bingo board. And one of the activities that I want to do in each of these videos is pull from a Take What You Need jar. And so this is full of different inspirational quotes. One of the activities on my healing bingo board is to journal every night, which I've been successful at doing every single night. And at the end of each journal post, I write a quote for myself. And so over the past 140 days or so, I've written a quote every night. So I went through all of my journals, which is a good tool to use and look back at how far you've come, which is actually pretty incredible for me to go from like where I was when I was in that Smash Room of that mindset of just so much anger to now where I'm at is mind-blowing, and I can't wait to see where I'm at in even just a couple of months from now. But I pulled through some of my favorite quotes, and my idea for this is I'm just gonna pull a quote and I'm gonna take what I need from it, and I'm going to hope that you can take what you need from it as well. So I'm gonna pull a quote on a yellow piece of paper, of course, my favorite color, and let's see what it says. All right. This one says, "Fear of judgment may be part of your story, but don't let it keep you from doing the work to truly heal and fully experience the best parts of you." Yeah, that resonates with me a lot because I think we have so much fear of what other people are going to think of us. And this has been a big part of my journey is in life in general, is I've always been a people pleaser. I don't want to let other people down. And so I have a lot of that fear of judgment, and it has in the past kept me from doing the work that I needed to do to heal. And I think this is really aligned with my healing bingo board journey in general, because there's the fear of judgment of what are people going to think about me doing this healing journey and doing it so openly. But I'm a very vulnerable person, at least I've tried to be in the last 6 years of doing this work, because I know the impact that it can have on helping other people. And so taking away some of that fear of judgment is really important for me to really know that as I'm working on myself and sharing it with others, it's helping me to heal openly and holding myself accountable as well. And also it's helping me to access those best parts of me, because otherwise I would have just kept them repressed. And now I'm, as I mentioned, discovering so much about myself and learning joy and rediscovering joy. And the whole purpose of this activity of the healing bingo board is to reclaim my power, reclaim who I am despite all the loss that I've been through. So if you have fear of judgment from others, that they're going to look at you differently, if you talk about your mental health challenges, or if you are having a tough time, talk about it anyway. And know that if you do that, even if others might think differently of you, it's often something that we have in our heads that we think people are going to think differently, but they're often very much in admiration that you had the courage to speak up. And not only does it help you to get those things off your chest, but it also empowers somebody else to say, well, if they're talking about it, then I can talk about it as well. So don't let that fear of judgment hold you back from truly healing and becoming the best version of yourself, because you have so many beautiful things about you to offer. And talk about them. Talk about what you're struggling with. Talk about the beautiful parts of you, and know that all of that's going to help you to heal and grow and change and adapt through all the challenges that you might be facing. So I hope that you enjoyed today's Healing One Square at a Time, my healing bingo board journey. I hope this inspires you to start your own healing bingo board and put different activities on your board that scare you, that you would never think that you would do before, or that you often had other people do for you. That you said, I'm just gonna have someone else do it. It's too scary, it's too hard, it's too difficult, I'm not capable. This is all the work to help to rewire your brain, to challenge you to build in confidence. And like I said, that smash room was the foundation for me to release that anger that was holding me back. And so that allowed me to do other activities that helped me to build in my confidence. I truly don't think I would have built all the confidence that I built so far and been able to self-reflect as much as I did or have or continue to do if I hadn't started off with the smash room. And I didn't do that by design. I was so angry that night and I was like, I'm going to a smash room. And it was like, this is the first activity I'm doing. It was 10 minutes down the road and I did the smash room, and I think it was the best decision that I could have made. So I hope that you can start your healing board journey, and I hope that you realize that no matter where you're at, that you are always good enough. No matter what judgment you might think of, you deserve to talk about what you're going through because you deserve to heal, just like I deserve to heal. See you next time.